Welcome to Tuesday Talks. I'm Seema Kumar, and today we're diving into the exciting world of funding women entrepreneurs in femtech. Plus, we'll explore how technology can transform healthcare experiences for patients globally. Our guest today is Melissa Wallace. She's a dynamic CEO and founding partner of the Fierce Foundry, a femtech startup dedicated to enhancing the lives of female entrepreneurs by creating a new investment flywheel for founders. Under her leadership, Fierce Foundry prioritizes femtech innovations, which are providing crucial support needed to founders from the idea to exit, while ensuring that unique needs of women are met with cutting-edge technology solutions. Welcome, Melissa, and congratulations.
Thank you. Well, congratulations on getting started, but thank you so much for having me.
That's great, yes. So first question, right? You've always championed women, right? So championing women is not new to you, and you've been instrumental in accelerating startup from all sectors throughout your career in New York City. So do you think there is a shift in investor perception towards investing in femtech in New York, like when you compare it to San Francisco or Boston? And if so, why?
So I think it's happening, but it's minimal right now. And I think it's more about health tech than femtech. I think, what I have seen firsthand is going to an event that is a health tech event and seeing investors who I know had never invested in health tech before. I think there's awareness to the opportunity, the ecosystem that we have here, entrepreneurs in this market that are primed for health tech and femtech. So I think the smart investors are changing their perception. But it's slow, and I think that's partly why we have such an important job to do.
Yeah, because you want to accelerate it. It's a little too slow.
It's too slow.
It's too slow, yeah. So it's been an exciting year for you because you've launched the Fierce Foundry in 2023, so it's about a year now.
Yes.
Could you talk a little bit about the problem identified in the marketplace and explain how this new company is addressing the global funding gap, especially for women, providing investment opportunities to them for founders, and with the initial, basically from the initial idea to the exit strategy, right?
Yes. So I had a group of women who started a nonprofit called Fierce Founders back in 2019. And the idea was, let's support these women who have come to us saying, I need help. I can't get a seed round, nobody will invest in me. And we recognized not only was it an impressive founder, but the product and services that these women were working on were definitely investable ideas. So we started a mentor program where we would connect them with investors that we thought made sense. We would hold events. I donated, and my co-founder at my marketing agency donated our time and services on a quarterly basis to founders. We were doing anything we could to kind of just get them across that initial hurdle. Mm-hmm. Last summer, when we were looking at, or about this time last year, we were looking at the discrepancy in funding for female founders. We sat down and said, it's getting worse. Like, here we are trying to have an impact and nothing is happening. So when we sat down to think about what are the different ways that we might approach what we're doing a little bit differently. We thought about accelerators and incubators and, doing our own startups. We realized that a majority of the women in the nonprofit were female or femtech founders. Mm-hmm. So there came the exploration into, well, what kind of opportunity is there? And wow. Immediately we realized we have to be in femtech. We need to be doing something here, especially considering 80% of femtech founders are female.
Yeah.
So, those two numbers, those two percentages don't match. So yes. How do we do that? And that's when we decided we need to move into a different model and focus on femtech.
So, people talk about femtech a lot, but define for us what you mean by femtech.
Yeah. For us, it means technology that supports the health and wellness of women and the people in their lives. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't necessarily mean a medical product per se. It's not a fertility product. It could be an investment tool because women think about investing differently, or maybe haven't been educated in the same way that men have in terms of what long-term investment looks like. So how do we create a product that allows them to do that in a way that works for them? And then, of course, that affects everyone around them.
Yeah. And we'll have to come back and ask you about an example, but in your mind, Femtech has a potential to significantly improve women's health using technology to address various health issues and transform healthcare experiences, right? Making them more accessible, more personalized to women. And based on the companies that you're currently working with, what impact do you expect Femtech to have on women's health in the near future?
So you say near future, I see small steps. Near future, I think, is probably more about awareness. When you think about the fact that the general population doesn't know that women weren't included in clinical studies until 1993, that is unbelievable, right? Just knowing that your data has not even been considered. So I think that's the first place, awareness, getting the data, and a lot of the companies that we're talking to are working from the data they have or creating companies that can collect the right data. So that, I think, is the near future. I think the most important thing, again, is that awareness element, and a lot of the founders that we're working with care a lot about, not only am I building this, but I'm going to tell everybody what it is and why.
That's great. So let's get into your studio model, right, which differs from the traditional venture capital approaches. So what is this thing that you call studio approach and, 4-stage process? Tell us a little bit about how that works.
Sure. Our 4-stage process is the basic studio model. It's different because we're focused in Femtech and working with female founders, but the traditional studio model is ideation and analysis in the first stage. So really assessing lots of ideas and determining if it's worth moving on to the next stage, which is beta or MVP development. So we build a prototype, we test it with customers, we do a product market fit. And if it passes that stage, then we move on to the third stage, which is actually building the full product and going to market. So putting the resources behind marketing, sales, seeing how we can scale this. At the same time, during that stage, and actually maybe between stage 2 and 3, we're looking at what it's going to take for exit. What are the things that are needed? And working with our experts on, that phase of the journey of the founder. Then comes exit. So ideally, we get to exit in less than 7 years. Our target is 5. The last stage is preparing the company and the founder for exit. In some cases, that founder might want to take that company and continue to scale, and we will work with them in that. But the idea and the goal is they get to exit so that they can go on and invest in more women. One of the companies that we're working on right now is an AI tool for dementia patients and their caretakers. So if a patient is in distress because they need to speak to a loved one or looking for someone that is important to them, there could be a proxy that's actually an AI of someone in their family that they can get on the phone with and talk to, even if that person isn't available. An amazing tool that kind of sets everybody down and gets everybody back in place. In addition to that, there'll be other features for pre-dementia patients and what happens post-dementia. Another product is a device for chronic UTIs. So I didn't realize this, but chronic UTIs is a big thing. And having a device, a medical device with an app that helps you assess the treatment that you need on a regular basis is something that's actually very much needed. And so we're working with a couple of recent graduates who have come up with an amazing device for that.
So, once these companies go through the 4-stage process, right, how do you select and prioritize which ones you will invest in? And do you take a percentage of equity across the board, or is the investment different?
We do. So we make the assessment early on. So it's actually an ongoing process in the very early stages of our own ideas, founders coming to us with ideas, and then us connecting entrepreneurs who are ready to do something different. So that assessment, which we actually had a fantastic meeting today to talk about how that process is going to work even further, it takes place at the very beginning. Our goal is to launch 3 to 5 companies a year, and the capital investment that we're looking to put into these companies is about $500,000 plus all of the services. And the services are valued somewhere around $250,000 for the duration of those 4 stages. We will co-found the company at 35% equity at the highest. And traditional studios will be anywhere from 50% to 80%. Our model is different because we want these women to be making the money. Yes. So, you know, we want them to be heavily invested in every part of what we're doing.
That's great. That's really a, you know, wonderful thing for women. And you're hosting actually the first FemHack all-female weekend hackathon.
Yes.
Right? That's in 2 weeks here at in New York City Tech Week, right?
Yes.
What outcomes are you hoping to achieve?
So we have 2 goals. The first goal is to really exhibit the talent that exists here in New York. We're not only, it's not just a hackathon where we're building a prototype, we actually have business people coming in, whether they're analysts or marketers that are joining the teams of engineers and designers so that they can map out what is the potential return on investment on a product like this. So it's more than just the actual technology, and it's all women or those that identify as women. So we're creating these huge teams. We're going to bring awareness to what exists here in terms of talent in New York City. And then for the Fierce Foundry, we've sort of been dropping, you know, hints that we exist, but it's really sort of our coming out party. We're going to really express what it is that we're building by way of showing the talent in New York.
That's great. Well, congratulations, first of all, and good luck. You know, it's exciting to be coming out with your, you know, coming out party.
Yes.
Now, before we go, 3 pieces of advice that you would give to female entrepreneurs who are looking to start their business.
It's so funny because I had a post on LinkedIn this morning. I think the first thing is believe in yourself. Don't let the voice inside your head or anybody else around you or the experiences you've had in the past define who you are today and the things that you want to do. Without a doubt. That's me every morning reminding myself of that, and I think it's really important. I think don't wait. There's always a reason why now is not the right time. I think if you say, I'm just going to go for it, regardless of, you know, what that risk might be, you'll find that not only are you going to be happier doing it, but you're going to find a way. And third piece of advice, I think, you know, do the research and find the right people to support you. There are so many people who will come in and say they're supporting you and they're just not right. And if it doesn't feel right, just move on. But do the right research, know what you need, and surround yourself with really great people.
That's great. Well, thank you for that advice, and I'm sure that everybody's listening carefully. Thank you so much for joining us for Tuesday Talks, and thank you for coming to CURE.
My pleasure. It's amazing here. Thank you.
Thank you.